This is W4ARW. Welcome back to another Amateur Radio World video. Finally, I have a QST review that doesn't come with a disclaimer. So get ready to meet the amateurs of Crete and a bunch of other stuff. Let's go. Our biggest announcement comes right at the start, where you find out, if you didn't already know, the ARRL has a new CEO. Tom Gallagher was just replaced by Barry Shelley. N1VXY, the new Chief Executive Officer of ARRL. And this is basically just a little bit of an intro about himself and a few goals he has planned for the ARRL in the next few years. And by the way, you get a nice snapshot of the Field Day t-shirt for this year, which highlights the International Grid Chase. Moving along, we have our member spotlight, Nancy Yoshida, KG0YL. She is currently the something for somewhere that has something to do with the ARRL. Maybe I could be a little more specific. She's the section manager for, I believe it's North Dakota. I believe that's what it is. And outside of ham radio, she enjoys dog racing. And that's actually what got her into ham radio. She used to do communications for the dog races and has leveled up to actually running in them. She also writes children's books. So there's two other things that she does on the side. Up front, here is a picture of a can of car wax getting converted into a fan-controlled dummy load. Also, this is a microphone, piece of chainsaw art. It belongs to a audio company, and that's out front of their building. So, thought that was pretty cool. And another work of art made out of wood is the box for this regenerative receiver. That's about all they go into detail as far as what's housed inside of that. I'm going to jump 10 pages forward to a vertical antenna for 160 meters, similar to what you saw last month, but this one is actually 3 wires running up along the tower, parallel with it, and it is fed by an inductor. Does require ground planes, works very nicely. W1JR, second place winner in the 2017 QST antenna design for 160 and lower. A 6-meter portable Yagi. This is a driven element and a reflector. Spaced 38 inches apart for 6 meters, and it's made out of telescopic whips. It collapses down to inside of the PVC pipe boom for easy storage, and you can use hose clamps or what have you to easily pull it out to the proper tuned length. Has about a 1.5 to 1 SWR across all of the bottom portion of 6 meters. Here's your gain. Pretty well directed. And let me go back real fast for you. This is an honorable mention in the QST antenna design competition 6 meters and up. An ultra simple 2-meter antenna. So I wasn't actually very impressed with the SWR on this antenna, but it works. So it's made out of 2 wire coat hangers, if you can see up here, and sort of like an hourglass shape. Here's the feed point. Radiation pattern is very similar to a J-pole, and SWR is about 2.1 at 144, drops down to about 1.621 at 148, so a little bit high for me. I'm not going to go into this article because it is very in-depth. but it was a good article about setting, or monitoring I should say, your station, setting something up so that you can kind of listen to the satellite beacons and kind of track where you can receive them. But the doctor is in. Everyone's familiar with this article. And first thing we're talking about is someone is looking for some kind of attenuator, transmit receive switch, so that they don't overload the front end of their SDR. And what he says is, your problem is exactly the same as what users of special receive-only antennas are faced with. He does not want to overload his receiver while transmitting. So he suggests an Array Solutions Alpha X-Ray -RFP to help with that problem. Larry, N8QNM, asks, I am building a single band 20-meter vertical monopole antenna. I've studied the antenna book. And what is the difference between the length and the number of radials? So the question simplified is, how would quarter length or 5/8 wavelength radials change the performance of an antenna? And Joel is saying that for elevated radials you probably want 5/8, but for ground level radios you probably want quarter. And can one use a 40-meter dipole on any lower frequency band without worrying about coax loss? Answer, not really. The microwave links article was very good. Let me pan this in a little more. It was talking about parabolic dishes, how to feed point, where to put the feed point, and stuff like that, and how to get the most gain out of them. It's a complicated article, as you can kind of see by this diagram. I'm not going to go into it too deeply. Really, this month, I'm just going to try and breeze through and just kind of show you what's in the magazine. I haven't been getting too many views on these anyway. I'm going to continue to do them, but until I can figure out a better way of presenting it, maybe just showing you the best articles in depth instead of everything breezing by, I'm just kind of going to lay them to the side a little bit. Let me know what format I should use for these reviews, and I'll do that. Do you want just what I consider the best articles in more detail, or a little bit of everything? What do you prefer? Hints and hacks. Still haven't gotten used to that name. So this is a handheld holder for an MD380 or similar HT. Here it is. Basically, he melted PVC pipe into this shape, and how this works is the HT, as you can see in this photo, slides over, and the hook on the belt clip snaps into the pre-drilled hole. Fits very nicely into his cup holder, is what he said. And here, down on this picture, is someone reminding you that metal tins, cocoa, cookies, whatever came in, it doesn't matter, but they're very useful for mounting homebrew equipment. Also talking about a radial ring. So what he has is a QSO radio claw mount, and he soldered some copper wire to it, and he clips the radials onto that to make it easier for him to use portable radials on his vertical antenna. Not going to jump through this, but here's the epicenter of amateur radio activity in the Mediterranean Sea. It's Crete. So there's several active amateurs, such as SV9ANK. Here he is again operating. He has a good amount of a station here. SV9FBM, here's a regulatory or mandatory antenna sign. It is required in Crete that you let people know you are using RF, which is a little fun fact that I didn't know. Here are a few more operators with their stations, all in Crete, which you probably knew. The next article I'd like to talk about was very interesting, and this person here, let me get his call sign, K1GND, used his local library's recreation room, or convention room, whatever you want to call it, and got together with a few other hams and held in just an open house class about amateur radio. Very simple topics, and trying to do some hands-on projects, stuff like that, just to kind of introduce people into the hobby in a very straightforward, simple, hands-on way. Said they've had very good results, and he suggests that other people do it as well. So we already told you about the electoral change in the ARRL, so we're going to skip over that. And here's a story about a ham operator, K9JF, who had culminated this friendship across HF with a station. His call sign OH2BH, and one day they actually both ended up going on the same DXpedition and finally got to meet each other. So, tale of two friends that, you know, very rarely your DX friends do you get to meet, but this station actually got to do it. Here's some happenings that we're going to really skip through. Nothing much happening this month. Canadian radio amateur finds a resurrected NASA satellite. That's VE7TIL is who found that. And classic radio is the Drake 2C receiver. You got the VHF contest results. Full results are online at www.arrl.org/contest results articles. I'm just going to I'm going to give you the top position for some of the more classic positions. Single operator portable, K7ALO. Single operator 3-band, KO9A. Unlimited multi-operator, W2 Sierra Zulu. And single operator low power, K2DRH. International Grid Chase update. The total amount of confirmed contacts has come out to 106,577. Majority of those have been on, let me get this here, the most popular band, not surprisingly, 20 meters. One thing that, well, 40 comes in next. 17 is third place. 80 meters coming after that. 15 followed by 160 directly after that. The results for the straight key night, not a ton of stations, but a good bit participated. I had intended to originally, but never really actually got on. I did make one contact for straight key night, but nothing too exciting. Hal's DX column is talking about 6060, a two-man DXpedition, and just kind of reviewing their trip, which went very smoothly and had good results. Not going to tell you anything about an outdated tropospheric propagation, and then the special events stations and stuff like that. We jump into the advertisements, but then, and only then, in the midst of all these products for sale, can we find our beloved Quick Stats. Now the Quick Stats this year, this month, I don't know who put them together, but there's a little bit of humor involved. Here we go. Have you ever tattooed yourself with a soldering iron? Winner at 76%. Yes, accidentally. Tied at 12% are the other two answers. Of course, my body is a work of art, and I avoid soldering irons whenever possible. What is the meaning of the new QZZ signal? 61% said I am falling asleep. 27% had no clue. 9% thought it meant I am bored. And 3% thought it meant I am demonically possessed. So now we know what percent of hams are demonically possessed. How does your cat or dog tell you when it's time to turn off your radio? By biting through the microphone cord, 19%. By howling piteously, 27%. By lunging at my throat, 5%. And I don't have a cat or dog, but my spouse will often use a tire iron to get my attention, winning at 49%. Spouse goes into mother in my situation. And do you calibrate your station clock to National Institutes and Standards and Technology Station WWV? Yes, but only on Wednesdays when it's raining was the winner, 31%. No, because WWV never plays my song requests, 25%. No, my sundial is good enough, except at night, 30%. And ever since I heard that Chambers Brothers song back in 1967, I stopped caring about time. Wasn't all that popular, but still got 15%. Alright, so this was probably the worst QST review I have ever made. Not to worry, not to worry. The comment heroes are going to tell me what they want to hear more of and what they want to hear less of. That way I can actually specify and go in depth on certain topics and skip over the rest of the stuff. So if you guys don't comment on what you want me to go in depth on and what you want me to skip over, I'm going to have to guess starting next month or 2 weeks from now, because I made this one a little bit late. So starting in 2 weeks, I'm just going to be guessing what you want to hear. That's all we're going to be talking about. 73s, guys. God bless. Please do subscribe, like, etc., etc. Can't ask you to comment enough. Your suggestions are more valuable than your subscription. If I know you're watching and you're giving me feedback and input on what you want to see and hear or what you don't like, that's more valuable to me than your subscription. So, not that I'm saying I don't want you to click the button or anything, but do please comment. 73s, guys. Hoping to bring a lot more topics to you soon. Planning on making a pretty killer field day video this year. We've got an awesome spot planned out, lots of traffic, so I'm hoping the go-to station, which I'm in charge of, will be a huge success. 73s, we'll catch you in the next video. W4ARRL QRT.